It's so bad.
Damage that you just inflicted into my life, into my family's life, into everything that I built. I have put my heart.
Also, Tommy, by the way, you know how many things I can say, bro, that I still haven't brought up. So please don't make me do it. Don't make me bring up your deep, dark history that I know.
All right, so I just rolled out of bed and the drama continues. So I wanted to start with that clip in the beginning because I thought that this was probably going to be the last back and forth about the situation. But after hearing Rain said what he said, there could always be more if he decides that he wants to share some stuff. Now, I will say that I don't think it has anything else to do with underage girls. I don't think it has to do with animals, and I don't think it has to do with grape because, like he said, those are his 3 main rules. And he didn't know until he was told about this alleged 16 or 17-year-old girl that he had broken one of those rules. So that means that all this other shit could be like money situations. Maybe he feels like he was scammy or scummy to some of the friends, like just shit like that, which is not good shit, but at least it's not like the same thing that we're discussing right now. Regardless, Temperrr did finally come forward and explain the actual situation of how he met these girls, what actually took place, and his perspective on it. And this is what he had to say.
This is the last time I'm going to speak of this. My private life is being aired out for public entertainment, and I'm being forced into an impossible situation. So now, one day my children are going to see this video, and they're going to know about, you know, sexual experiences and the type of person that I was before I met their mother. And let's just start at the top. So a lot of what Norton was saying of the type of person that I was is true. Not all of it. I was a reckless kid. I was very misguided. I was in and out of relationships. And I didn't know any better, right? And so one day, I met Emma, and Emma was the love of my life. Like this, I fell in love with this girl, and I wanted to marry this girl, and I never had wanted to marry anybody before that. I never wanted to get married, and I was just blown away. So this is the girl that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, but because of all the baggage that I had, and all the shit that I went through, and just the person that I was, I pushed her away. You know, she did not want to be with me, and she ended things, and that broke me and sent me into a dark, dark place. Soon after that, I was just that lost soul again, going to parties, partying, and just being a fool. And then one day I go to New York, and I go to this club that's 21 plus, and I link up with a buddy there, and he invites a couple girls, and I end up going back with these girls. We're all shit-faced, and I end up going back with these girls to my hotel room. I slept with one of them, and I found out after that this girl was 17. And that's the age of consent in New York. But regardless, I was sick to my stomach. It was just extremely uncomfortable knowing that and thinking about the situation. And that was it. And so shortly after that, or however long after that, Emma and I got back together, and you know, I was fully working on myself and becoming a better man, and doing what I have to do to heal myself and heal like all the trauma that I had, and just work on myself on being a better man. And you know, not too long after that, I proposed. And a few months later, we found out she's pregnant, and now I realize I have a child on the way, so I have to put my self-growth in overdrive, because my child does not deserve to live a life where he picks up the bad habits that I had growing up. And so the last few years of my life have been on super fixated on just becoming a better man, husband, and father. That's been my number one focus, and it's something that I needed for myself. And you know, I wish that I started earlier. I wish that I didn't put the love of my life through all the things that I put her through, and you know, and then that was it. And so this allegation of me being called a pedophile is fucking insane. anybody that knows me knows I am not a pedophile or even anything close to that, including Norden himself. So I just, this is something that is going to follow me around forever. And it's just sick because people on the internet will take things and twist it into something that it isn't, and just keep running with it. And now I just have to deal with the repercussions, you know? And so that's the unfortunate part about this reality. But that's it. I mean, there was nothing else to it than that.
So again, this is just a lot of he said, she said shit because I don't know Temperrr. I don't know FaZe Rain. So he's now saying, well, I didn't know what the age of the girl was. What's interesting though is that he said it was a friend of his who he knew in New York that invited the girl. So I feel like I'd hit up that friend and I'd be tight. Like, you bringing girls around me that are a certain, right? So that you'd feel like there would have been some kind of a situation there. Maybe he doesn't want to throw that person under the bus, but in a situation where you getting thrown under the bus is almost like, yo, I'm going to put it all out there, except that might not work in his favor if he's not telling the truth. So I don't really know. I'm not really judging him based on that, but it's more of an understandable thing to an extent, because it's like you go out, you get wasted, you're just having a good time with people, you go back home. Now, personally, I don't allow myself to get that drunk. I'm never going to be able to get so drunk where I'm like, yo, I had no clue who anyone was. I've always said this. I manage my drinking throughout the night because I always want to be able to observe what's happening around me. I want to be aware, and I don't want to be able to be taken advantage of. I don't want someone to be able to like steal from me or jump me and I'm completely incapable. So I always keep myself at a certain point. So I don't even know what it's like really, or remember, because as a kid, like maybe I got blackout drunk, but it's just not really a familiar feeling to me because I just don't think that it's a smart place to be. So for me, I'm like, I feel like I'm going to notice like, you look a little young, or you got an ID, or, which I get is not like a normal question to ask, but if you even have to ask it, you got to start to question, you know what I'm saying? Question some things. And I guess people could argue, well, some people look a lot older than they are, which is possible. So I get that there's also people that look older. It's just, I can't give him that excuse because I don't know this situation. So it's going to be interesting if a girl does come forward. But the thing will be like, can she prove it? Was there text messages? Did they share anything where she could say, hey, this was me? Because if that happens, we got a whole lot more shit to talk about. Regardless, Rain did respond to this, and this is what he had to say.
The details did get switched a little bit because originally it was two 16-year-olds and it was a 17-year-old and one was watching, and now a 17-year-old and he didn't know her age. If you didn't know her age and you said that to us at least once, we wouldn't be here, bro. I would not have treated it the same way if you said you didn't know, because that changes everything. But you never said that, not once. Literally not once. This is news to me that you didn't know, okay? And I'm not trying to make it about myself in any way, shape, or form. By the way, I don't want anything out of this. I love my life. It has bothered me for so long because that shit fucked me up. I left the team over because I said I'm not gonna be in the same team with someone who did shit like that. Because I have 3 rules. If I'm your friend, bro, I got your back no matter what, bro. Except if you do 3 things. And it's very simple. No grape, no pedo shit, no animal abuse. And I got your back for life, bro. I got your back for life. Just don't do none of that weird shit. And I got you, bro. I'll always be there for you no matter what, thick and thin, bro. But he didn't. And as soon as I tell him that, he proceeds to tell me one of the forbidden rules that he broke. The f***? Why would you even tell me that? So again, it f***ed me up for a while. So I tried to get him to step down. I said I would not be on the same team as somebody who does shit like that. And then shit did not sit right with me. So then a little bit less than a year later, I brought it up again. And then I get put in an ultimatum that he's going to off himself if I say anything. So I'm like, what the f***? And then another year goes by, and I'm still feeling like shit every single day about it. So I'm like, bro, I can't take this shit no more. It's not fair to me. It's not fair for me to feel this way. It's definitely not fair to the victims. So again, I'm not trying to make it about me, even though I know me saying it's not fair to me makes it sound like it's about me. But I don't mean it like that. I just mean like I don't like living with that information. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you want to be malicious about it, you want to assume I have bad intent, ill intent, go fucking ahead. I could give a less. This is the internet. Half of you guys have 15 IQ. I could give a less. Like,
and this is exactly why I feel like we're still in that he said, she said space, because there's no proof from either side of what happened. We're just hearing stories from 2 different people, and we got to choose who we decide that we want to believe. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I kind of lean towards Rain because nobody up until this point mentioned anything about Temperrr not knowing the girl's age. And I feel like if you were to tell your friends that and it became this big deal where one of them is not going to rejoin FaZe and he doesn't want to be around you, inevitably that comes up, right? Like, hey, that situation we talked about, I didn't know her age. That'd be one of the first things that I feel like you would say. So unless Rain is just straight up lying to everybody and saying, I've never heard this before, this is the first time, it's like you kind of got to believe him, because Banks didn't say anything like that. Banks didn't say, yeah, on the call, He said that he didn't know the age of her, so on and so forth. He just said that he told me she was 17. And so I feel like, again, that would have been something that would have been a part of the conversation, an important part of the conversation that you're having with your friends. I'm not going to sit down with friends and be like, hey, so I just slept with this girl that's this age, and then just leave it at that, because that's not going to look good for you at all. They might even still question you if you say that you didn't know her age, but at least you're giving some context to it. So because of that, I'm shaky and kind of on the fence. I do understand why Temperrr said that he didn't want to talk about it in full in his first response, because he doesn't want this video to live on the internet. Because at some point now, his kid is going to be able to get older, pull up this video and see his dad talking about how he had these interactions with a 17-year-old girl and could potentially feel some type of way. So it's like, for him, initially it was like, let me just talk about it surface level without diving too deep, and just kind of not have more shit added to the internet that can be relived and looked at in the future. And so I can understand that, but unfortunately in a situation like this, don't really have much choice, because you're going to get dragged and shit is just going to get worse if you don't at least address it. And so it's like the lesser of two evils, I guess. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I thought that this would probably be the last interaction, but the fact that he's now saying, hey, I know way more dark shit that you've done too, I can expose it. Who knows where we're going to go at this point. So I'm fresh out of bed. I probably still got sleep in my eyes. I literally just rolled out that bitch and said, oh, we have an update. We got to talk about some things. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody that's been checking out the videos. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe. We don't only cover FaZe, although right now it feels like a FaZe channel. I cover all sorts of shit. I do try to lean towards more streamer, YouTuber stuff, because I feel like if you subscribe for that, you're probably more familiar with other content like that. But at times we talk about all sorts of shit. I don't usually get political at all. I did at least make a video about the Charlie Kirk situation because it was just a huge situation. But normally is going to be more around drama, shit like this, crazy dumb things that people do that go viral, things like that. So hopefully I will see some of you guys back. But take it easy, stay safe. I will catch you in the next one, homies.